about a black nymph that tends to work well on chew. It's a ganza is one type of material you can use, or this Pseudo is another one. It's a Pseudo hackle. It comes double-sided. It's like a double-bonded kind of material. Got a fine hackle fibre through it. A lot of people tend to use it for boobies and for lures fishing. One good thing about it, when you buy it, you can cut it to any length. You can either have it as long as you need it, like that sort of length. You just cut it to the length you want, basically. So as I've been asked about a nymph in it, I'm going to demonstrate that we cut it roughly about 3 to 4 mil, all the way up to one side. It can be a bit of a tricky stuff to cut. You can, what I tend to, the organza then, should we call it, if you wanted to call it, you tend to find quite regularly in craft shops. It's more like a ribbon, where it's bound not only, well, lengthways, it's bound lengthways this way, but it's bound that way as well. It's bound the opposite way. As I said, it's like a ribbon entry, if you want to call it. It takes a lot of time to pick the fibres out once you've cut it. But as this Pseudo is already part of the process already done for you. So just cut it to the size you want, and then cut the length off. Now this length tends to go quite a way, really. Any bits that you've missed, so you want to try and get it so it's straight. You can also cut it to a taper. I believe the one that you would have had would have been cut to a taper, because it's longer at the front and it sort of sweeps back. It's more like a, yeah, it's more like a small wet fly rather than a nymph, then, should we say. We come up against this issue. A new team member that's joined into our team this season is a Chew Ranger. And last year he swore by this black nymph pattern, then, if you want to call it. Now, again, I said, nah, no way. But I used it myself last week for the first time. I'd seen the pattern it's been out for about 2 or 3 years, but never actually used it myself. So I'm going to go for a size 10. It seems to be the standard sort of size for the nymphs. I believe fully male sell one, and that's a 12. But again, it seems to be the bigger body style. So going back to the cock hackle, taking a few fibres off. Oh, they're poor. Taking a few fibres off. This, in my opinion, does tend to be, well, I keep saying what I call a stocky nymph. It would be a bright nymph for the stockfish to pick up on. And then you've got the other side of the coin then, when everybody seems to say, it catches all the big fish. And it's an odd one. But it certainly catches fish, that's the important bit. So, I'm just going to... come back.
Still alive.
Yeah, it's alive. Oh, on another bit, look. So, when I'm going to tie it in, I'm just going to cut a section off. So I flat down with the core, so I'm not tying so much bulk in. Again, with any sort of feather you're going to tie in, you tend to strip off to try and keep the actual bulk of where you're tying it in as small as possible. So I've cut it, and I'm just going to bind it down the hook, back over. I wouldn't worry too much about the thickness of your body on this particular pattern, because you're going to bulk it out. This is going to act as a small fritz, if anything, or a fine fritz. I've also seen this particular pattern tied with a micro straggle fritz. Exactly the same tie-in style, where you're going to make a body of a colour firstly, this particular pattern, and the pattern that has been mentioned is a red holographic. Don't be too worried about getting your body flat and perfect level as though you're tying a dunkeld or something traditional, where you're looking for a nice clean flat body. So just sort of bind yourself a red body in. People do tend to mistake this red underneath as a rib. as though it's been ribbed with red holographic, where in actual fact it's not a rib, it's an underbody. It's an underbody red holographic. So you basically palmering the fly with a synthetic material. It's a really quick, simple fly to tie. There's not a lot of finesse in this one at all. I'm going to say this, right, I'm just about to put a beard on it. I don't put a beard on my own. So, it's... the ones that you buy would have a beard on there. But I think it's only going to take out the colour of the red holographic from the underside of the fly. So, on my own nymphs that I've tied, I haven't put one in at all, so true to fashion, if I was going to use it personally, I haven't on mine. But I am going to put jungle cock cheeks on it. So it's a controversial little fly, this. It's, like I said, I've seen it for about 2 years. It's been out and about for about 2 years. A lot of roundabout anglers have been using it for a couple of seasons. I didn't have any faith in it. I didn't see that I was missing it in my armoury then, should I say. I was advised to tie some, and since I have actually used it and caught fish in it. Oh, look at that. Typical. Once I don't do it. So, again, being a fly tyer, you put your own twist on everything, and you do try and better the pattern. The day that I was actually fishing, I can't really give you a comparison. I had a red holographic, a Pseudo Nymph on, if that's what you wanna call it then, or a Pseudo Nymph, and I had a black holographic one on, and I had a double header, so I can't tell you which is better really. When I used it, I didn't use them for long. I had about 6-7 chucks. I had one fish which obviously took a booby and a point, and my next cast after was a double header, and both of them took these Pseudo Nymphs or Pseudo Nymphs on my droppers. So I can't give a comparison. I haven't played about them much. But a black holographic one does work also, so you can put the black holographic body first, ribbed with the Pseudo or black organza. Somebody mentioned about the whip finishing earlier. When I attach my whip finish, I literally turn the tool upside down, catch on, twist, hook the top section on, create a triangle, and then rotate the whip finishing tool itself. Pull down so they're both in line. Unhook the top eye and pull the silk. Try not to pull too tight, and then tension with your thumb after. I'll go through that again with you if you want after.
Yeah, that seemed easier with the fixed one.
Yeah, the swivel, or the what do you call it, the swivel or the turn in whip finishing tool, rotating. You tend to just push the tool, and as you're pushing the tool over, it rotates for you, whereas just using your fingers is more than suffice normally for
More manual.
more manual. Yeah, it just keeps things really simple, you know.
It builds your biceps.
Yeah. Really straightforward, simple pattern. I'm gonna look it in the box, send it around so you can have a look at it. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot finer when you wet it and when you're fishing it.
You say, I've got another big fish on it.
Yeah, and a lot of people are saying the same. But again,
I've used it 6 times and I've 14 fish.
yeah,
They've all been over £8.
I know it's very good. I might see it as a fly for silly trout. Like.
You only gave you one fly.
Yeah.
That's had 14 fish on it.
Again, this stuff is super durable. I tell you what it is good for, believe it or not. It's hackling a cruncher.
Yeah.
You can hackle a cruncher with this, a black cruncher. If you keep it nice and long, when you hackle your cruncher, it gives you a really fine hackle. It's really good for that.